Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining me. My name's Clay Ross, and I play guitar in Ranky Tanky. So I am originally from South Carolina, and I met the members of Ranky Tanky around college years in Charleston, South Carolina. And I've had a lot of wonderful opportunities to travel all over the world and explore different styles of music on that journey. But I've always reflected back on my early experiences making music with my bandmates in Ranky Tanky, and I've always related what I've learned to the Gullah music and the Gullah traditions and the traditional Gullah rhythms that I was learning from Quentin and Charlton and Kevin back when I was a teenager. So because Gullah music doesn't exactly have a specific guitar tradition, that's really given me an opportunity in the context of Ranky Tanky to try to find things that I could adapt. So I've gone to other styles of music that do have African diaspora and African-inspired guitar parts because they're super compatible with what they do. They fit really seamlessly, and I thought it might be fun to share with you guys 3 examples of different guitar styles that you wouldn't necessarily think about as fitting with Gullah music, but how I use them in Gullah music. So first, I'd like to show you a Brazilian style of guitar called forró. And I spent a lot of time studying and playing this style of music. It's from the northeast of Brazil, and it has a lot in common with South Carolina in that a lot of the same colonial experiences, the colonial heritage, and a really strong African diaspora. This is a rhythm called forró. Eu fui pra Limoe, gostei do forró de lá. Eu vi o caboclo cabejeiro tocando sanfona em Tenafuá. And now if I wanted to adapt this to one of our songs, which I do in Ranky Tanky, it would be like, you better mind, you better mind. You got to give an account at the judgment, you better mind. You better mind, you better mind. You got to give an account at the judgment, you better mind. So this rhythm, it's an African diaspora rhythm. It's a rhythm that evolved in Brazil, but it really fits seamlessly with what we do in Ranky Tanky and the types of drumming that Quentin does and the types of bass playing that Kevin does. So that was something that I borrowed from that tradition, and I try to bring into what we do in Ranky Tanky. Another really cool example is I did have an opportunity to tour across Africa on a cultural exchange to the U.S. State Department in 2013. It was incredible, and I had a lot of guitar lessons while I was there, and I took one particular lesson with a guitarist named RoboCop. They call him RoboCop because he literally likes the movie RoboCop, and he never told me his real name. He was an incredible guitarist, and he taught me a style of guitar picking called palm wine picking. This is from Ghana. And now we have a song called All For You, where I do this style of picking in the context of Ranky Tanky. And it goes, all for you, all for you, all for you, yeah, all for you. All my loving is all for you. Works seamlessly, and it's a really great place for me to find inspiration for guitar parts for our songs. And finally, a lot of people often say, wow, like some of the music that you play even sounds like country music or bluegrass music. And I think often people don't really highlight how much African American music influenced American styles like country music, American old-time music, and American folk music. And especially you can hear that in the guitar and in guitar styles from bluegrass music. And I spent a lot of time studying and playing that style of music, and I use that type of thing a lot. So to give you another example, if I want to fill up a whole lot of space in Ranky Tanky music, I might strum, but I strum along with the rhythm, and the bluegrass rhythm might be like this. And it has all those blue notes. just add some of those rhythmic patterns that you might hear Quentin or Kevin playing, and we do a little dance, and we bob and weave together, and we're just having a really fun conversation every single night using a really specific rhythmic vocabulary. So listen up for that in the Rinky Tinky concert. Thank you guys so much.